Hi, sir. Don't worry, honestly, when you come across things you can't do. What would be helpful is if you try and correct these questions after you've watched my video, because I'm not going to do these exact questions, I'm going to do similar questions, and then I'd like you to go back and see if you can do the questions on the sheet again. So see how you get on. So for this question, I've changed the ratio and I've changed how tall Anne is. Now with ratio, you know me in pictures, I find it really helpful to do a picture. So we've got Anne's height and Ben's height. Okay, so Anne is 3 parts tall to Ben's 4 parts tall. So Ben is taller than Anne by one of those circles. So if Anne is 9 foot tall altogether, then each of these must be worth 3 feet. So Ben must be 12 feet tall. Now, another way other people see it is they say, they'd say 3 to 4. Well, if Anne was 9 feet, then that's times 3. So Ben must also be times 3, which is 12 feet tall. So there's 2 different methods you can use. You decide which one makes sense to you. So the line x equals 1, well, you know that with coordinates, you've got the x value and then the y value. So x always goes first, so along the corridor and up the stairs. So what this is really saying is that the first number must be 1. The second number can be anything you want. It could be 1, 0. It could be 1, 5. It could be 1, 3. It could be 1, minus 2. It doesn't matter, but the first number always has to be 1. And when you start putting these on the graph, so 1, that's 1, 0, 1, 5, 1, 3, 1, minus 1. We could keep going, but that is the line x equals 1. I'd like you to try and find the line y equals 2 yourself. Now, for this question, I'm going to change the question slightly because I want you to have a go at this one yourself back on your sheet. So instead of x plus y equals 3, I'm going to have x plus y equals 5. So all it means is when I add my x and my y together, I'm always going to get the answer 5. So if x is 2, y must be 3 because I've got to add up to 5. If x is 1, y must be 4. If x is 0, if you want to pause the video and see if you can do these yourself. Okay, welcome back. If x is 0, y must be 5. If x is minus 1 plus something equals 5, that something must be 6. And this one must be 7. And then you plot those points on the graph, remembering x goes first. Okay, before we do this question, just need to remember how you find the area of a parallelogram. So what you need to do is take that corner off there and stick it on here. And what you've got now is a rectangle that's still 6 centimetres long. So the area of a parallelogram is just base times the height. So that'd be 6 times 5 is 30. And we're going to use that fact in what we're going to do here in a second. Oh, I don't want that smaller because I want my trapezium to be the same. Okay, so I've changed the numbers again, so I'm not using these numbers because I want you to do corrections yourself. So I've changed it to this trapezium. What I'm going to do is do an identical trapezium but upside down next to that. So this length here is the same as that length there. So that must be 4, that must be 6, and it's still got a height of 5. And hopefully what you notice is we've now got the shape of a parallelogram. And if you remember, we just said that a parallelogram is base times height. Well, the base of this parallelogram here is 6 plus 4, and height is still 5. So it'll be 10, 6 plus 4, or we can do it 6 plus 4, times the height, which is 5. But we've found the area, that will find the area of 2 trapeziums that are identical, and we only want 1 trapezium, so I need to divide my answer by 2. So it would be 6 plus 4, which is 10 times 5 over 2. So that's 50 over 2, which is 25 centimetres squared. Remember, I haven't used these numbers. I've just done a similar question. So for this question, you need to work out the perimeter of the shape first of all. I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger so that we can write on it. So this length here and this length here must add up to make this length here, okay? And that's 3x plus 3. So if that's x plus 2, then this must be another 2x's plus 1. Because if you add this together with this, you get this length here, okay? And in a similar way, this is 3x plus 1, and that must be that length plus that length. And this length up here is just x. So here must be 2x plus 1. Now, I am going to run through this exact question, but what I'd like you to do is, after you've watched the video, is when you're doing this question on the sheet again, is don't think back to this, think back to what you understand, not what you remember, if that makes sense. So sort of working it out from your understanding. So the perimeter of this shape is going to be each of these lengths added together, okay? So what I've got is 3x plus 3 plus x plus 2x plus 1 plus 2x plus 1 plus x plus 2 plus 3x plus 1. And all of that is equal to this, is equal to 68 centimetres. Now, if you simplify this and you still find it's going to equal 68, what you've really got is you need to solve an equation to find x. So, you know, you've got 3x, 4x, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12x, and then you've got to add these numbers and you'll get your equation. See how you do.